Let's talk about what happens at dinner. But you're not like right there in front of it, so you can have a little bit more space. How can you move through this with care for both of you? Do either of you have any thoughts about what you can do?
You mean strategies for what we can do? Well, I'm open. I'm curious to continue talking about the actual values with you. It's going to be hard for me to let that go, but I understand that a better time to talk about that wouldn't be as we're eating. And I'm happy for you to tell. I can make some beans. I'm happy for you to tell me what you want, or maybe you can come a little bit earlier and make something with me that you'd rather eat. I can't change my whole menu,
Yeah,
that'll be too stressful for me. But if you want to come home a little earlier, then we can cook at the same time. And
I'm really willing to do that. I think that would be a lot of fun, actually. And to your other point, I mean, I'd be happy to, if you're willing to do some reading, give you some literature about my diet and how it's healthy, just to give you some security or a sense that I'm not hurting myself.
This is not going to help.
Well, I've got some reading for you.
Yeah. This is not
But
going
I'm
to
not going to read what you want me to read.
Why would she read what you want her to read if you won't read what she wants you to read?
Because I'm right.
What do you think she thinks?
That she's right.
How does that help either one of you to connect?
So I guess the strategy that would be more effective would be for me to come over and cook some food with you that I'm willing to eat.
And really concentrate on how to make things work between the two of you, and when there is enough of a bridge, then you can start sharing information. Right now, information is divisive. Either direction that information goes, it's divisive.
God, my heart sort of sinks hearing that, because so much of my hope for the world I want to live in is in getting people to consider veganism more seriously, and compassion for other living creatures more seriously. So that somehow that's divisive is just devastating.
It's not the value that is divisive. It's giving information when there isn't a flow of mutual trust. It's kind of like if you come home and you cook together for a while, and she eats your food and likes it, there might be curiosity. Conversely, if you work together and eat together and there is flow and ease, he might be open to hearing from you too. The key is to stay away from the information until you have established mutual trust. Cool?
Yeah, hard, really challenging, but what you're saying makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, so let's take another break.
Sure.
And when we come back, we'll take a dip, just a dip into another hot topic, and that is going to be called Who's for Peace?
Thoughts in my mind come in. No illusion will rise and illusion will fall. I'll still be here at the end of it all. In the sea of love, I melt like salt. My faith and my doubt both dissolve. In the sea of love, I melt like salt. My faith and my doubt both dissolve. Yeah, 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 oh, yeah, yeah. From the tree, break it open and find the seed. Break the seed open and what do you see? Nothing. Rupa, the form of it all. Thoughts in my mind come in, no illusion will rise.
Hi, welcome back. This is Miki We are with the Conflict Hotline, and our current situation is called Who's for Peace. And Jared is going to be playing David, and Sigal is going to be playing Yael. And both of them are members of a dialogue group about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
So, I'm curious, in light of recent current events, if you still hold the belief that occupation of the West Bank and in fact development of houses there is serving the peace in the Middle East?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the way that we, the Jews, are going to be able to have some sense of safety.
Safety. This is completely destroying the diplomatic process. Israel is at risk of abandoning itself with its primary ally, the United States of America, that has stood by it in all of its decisions.
You know what's destroying the diplomatic process? Arabs teaching hate to their children.
It's not about,
that's what's destroying the diplomatic process.
If you have people occupy your homeland and then build houses on top of it.
I know what it's like. Well, my ancestors know what it's like to have occupation.
Thank you. Either one of you having any sense of being heard?
I hear myself.
I hear myself.
And how does it help in terms of...
I sound good.
You sound good. You like yourself.
I have some clarity about what's important to me.
So let's remember, you are here in a dialogue group. What is dialogue? Let's take a moment and think about what is dialogue. And what I like is a lot of the thinking that Martin Buber did about dialogue, and essentially how he defines dialogue is a willingness, not defines, but describes dialogue as a willingness to not know the outcome, a willingness to be affected by what the other person says. And what instead happens is almost always we expect the other person to change without being willing to change ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
That's where I'm coming from.
And you?
Well, I'm not going to change on this matter, so yes, I would say that's where I'm coming from too.
And you still, despite this, you are expecting the other person to change, even though you know you're not going to change. So for me, there's something very humbling about this. If I want to embrace dialogue, it means for me opening myself to the other person rather than closing and defending. This is an application of Gandhian principles of making myself available. I mean, he was doing it in a different framework, but it is the same principle. I'm opening myself to the humanity of the other person. I am bringing my undefended self. So, the most acute example for me of this happened when she said, what is interfering with the peace process is the Arabs teaching their children to hate the Jews, or something like this. I don't remember the exact words. And when I hear this, I am hearing in it the extraordinary pain that this person has. Just imagine what it's like to know that people, for whatever reason, are teaching their children to hate you. Wouldn't that be painful? So that pain gets spoken and drops. Instead, there is an argument going back. Mm-hmm. So if I were in her shoes, expressed anything that is painful for me, and instead I'm being argued with, I'm only going to be entrenched in my position.